Wow. It has been one of those weeks in AI where it feels like an entire month's worth of news just got crammed into a few days. Seriously, we've got a wild race in video generation, AI agents starting to pop up in the workplace. There is so much to break down. So let's just dive right into what's being called the nano banana era and figure out what it all means. So here's how we're going to tackle this wild week. We're going to look at the key battlegrounds where AI is just moving at lightning speed. We'll start with this huge leap in video editing that could honestly change everything. Then we'll see how the competition is firing back with some absolutely mind-blowing new models. After that, we'll check out how AI agents are being built to do actual work for us, how smaller, super efficient models are challenging the big guys, and finally, what the tech giants are cooking up to stay on top. All right, first up, video. This week gave us a sneak peek at what might be a massive shift in how we create and edit video. And it all revolves around this fascinating and kind of weirdly named concept, the nano banana of video. So yeah, the big question that's been flying around is exactly this. Did we just get the nano banana of video? And I know it sounds like a quirky name, but it represents this massive jump in our creative control. We're talking about a world where you can edit text, images, and video all together just seamlessly. Like imagine telling an AI, hey, see that car in the video? Make it look like it's made of pizza. And it just works. That's the dream. That's the promise of the nano banana. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't heard this term before, let me break it down. A nano banana is basically the holy grail for this kind of AI. It's the power to take an image, a video, a text prompt, and just mash them all together. You can edit any little piece you want with a simple command. Think of it like Photoshop, but for everything, all at once, inside one single project. And the company that's really stirring this pot is Kling AI. They went on an absolute tear, dropping 5 announcements in 5 days. I mean, it was wild. They had new tools for combining images, creating these super realistic talking avatars, even adding native audio to video. But the one that really got everyone buzzing was Kling AI 01, which was their big shot at making this nano banana video editor a reality. So did it live up to the hype? Well, to find out, the source put it through its paces with some really creative tests. They tried to get it to turn a car into a pizza car, fly a drone's camera view through a tiny watch, swap a book for a sci-fi tablet in someone's hands, and even put a person from a treadmill video on Mars. I mean, these were some ambitious tests, really designed to see what this thing was made of. So, what's the final word? The results were, okay, they were a mixed bag. The tablet swap was actually really impressive for a few seconds. It even adjusted the hands perfectly. But the pizza car never really looked right, and the Mars runner completely ignored the prompt to change the video's shape. As the source put it, it's not quite nano banana. The potential is there, you can see it, but the consistency, just not there yet. But hold on, the video story does not end there, not even close. While Kling was pushing its editing tools, the competition was firing back, and they were focusing on another game-changing feature, integrated sound. And this, my friends, is where the AI video race gets really interesting. So Kling also dropped Video 2.6, which comes with native audio generation. Now this is a big deal. It puts them right up against models like Google's Veo. But when people started testing it, it became pretty clear it's still a work in progress. A prompt for a cybercrapper came out with repeated words and some seriously wonky lip sync. And a really complex audio prompt for a Rube Goldberg machine was a spectacular failure. Most of the sounds were just missing entirely. It just goes to show you, getting AI to do realistic audio is still a massive, massive challenge. Okay, now this is where the timing gets really fun. On the very same day that Kling was showing off its new editor, a huge competitor, Runway, just casually teased its next model, Gen-4.5. And based on the demos, wow, it looks like a total game changer. We're talking unbelievable photorealism and characters who can actually show a whole range of emotions. The race is officially on, and the bar just got raised way up. Runway even put out this leaderboard from some blind user tests. And it shows Gen 4.5 just seemingly blowing everyone else, including OpenAI and Google, out of the water. At first glance, you look at this and think, wow, it's not even close. But, as with everything in AI, it pays to look a little closer at the data. And here's where we need to put on our data detective hats. This is such a brilliant example of why you have to pay attention to how data is presented. If you look at the y-axis on that chart, you'll see it starts at 1200, not at 0. What that does is it visually makes the gap between the models look way, way bigger than it really is.
Now, to be clear, Runway is still in the lead, which is super impressive. But the competition is much, much closer than this chart wants you to think. It's a great little reminder to always question the data you're seeing.
Okay, so we've seen how AI is totally changing creative tools. But what about our day jobs, the world of work? Well, this week also saw some huge moves with AI agents. These are tools designed not just to create stuff, but to actually do stuff for you. Automating tasks and hopefully making all of our lives a little easier.
Google rolled out something called Workspace Studio, which is basically an AI agent builder just for the Google ecosystem. You can just describe a task in plain English, like, hey, if a new email comes in and it has a question, label it as important and then ping me in chat. The AI then just builds that automated workflow for you, kind of like the Tools APR. It's basically like having a personal assistant that works 24/7.
Of course, Amazon Web Services wasn't going to be left out. They announced their own set of agents, but these are hyper-focused on software development teams. They've got 3 frontier agents that can help write code, find security holes in apps, and even manage operational meltdowns to, and I love this quote, deliver more sleep for your team. And hey, who's going to say no to that? Right, so all of these amazing tools, the video generators, the workplace agents, they all run on these foundational AI models underneath. And this week pointed to a really powerful, maybe even surprising trend. You don't have to be a tech giant with $1 billion budget to build a world-class model anymore. The game is really changing, and it's getting way more competitive. 2 major players, DeepSeek and Mistral, just dropped new models that are seriously shaking things up. In terms of performance, they're right up there with the big dogs from Google and OpenAI. But, and this is the critical part, they were trained incredibly cheaply and efficiently. They're proving you can get top-of-the-line results for just a fraction of the cost. And that is a huge deal for the future of AI. And what Mistral is doing is especially important. They're releasing their models under something called the Apache 2.0 license. In simple terms, it's a super permissive open source license. That means anybody, you, me, a startup, can take these incredibly powerful models, run them on their own computers, tweak them, and build stuff on top of them for free. It's a massive step towards democratizing this technology. But of course, the big tech companies are not just sitting around watching this happen. While the smaller companies are competing on efficiency and open source, the giants are pushing the absolute limits of performance and, you guessed it, figuring out how to make a ton of money from their dominance. This is where the real battle for the future of AI is going to be fought. Speaking of which, Google finally opened up access to its monster model, Gemini 3 DeepThink. You remember, the one that was just smashing all the benchmarks when it was announced? Well, if you want to use it, you better be ready to open your wallet. Access is part of their Ultra plan, which costs a whopping $250 a month. That is a serious price tag, and it just shows you how valuable these top-tier models are becoming. Meanwhile, over at OpenAI, the rumor mill is spinning like crazy. There are whispers of a brand new model codenamed Garlic. We don't know much, but the word on the street is that it's performing incredibly well inside the company. The speculation is that this could be our first look at the next version of GPT, and that we shouldn't be surprised to see a GPT-5 point something released as early as next year. So yeah, get ready for it. OpenAI is also looking at another and much more controversial way to make money, putting ads in ChatGPT. It looks like there are 2 ways this could go. The first is a separate ad block, below the chat. It's less intrusive, and most people could probably live with it. But the second option is a lot more worrying. That's putting ads inside the AI's actual responses, and that could completely destroy user trust. How would you know if you're getting a real answer or just a sales pitch? Let's all just hope they make the smart choice here. And believe it or not, that's still not everything. Let's do a quick rapid-fire round. Apple, kind of out of nowhere, showed off a new video generation model called Starflow that uses a totally different method, which could be a huge deal. The CEO of Epic Games started a debate by saying Steam should get rid of its made with AI tags, because pretty soon every game is going to use AI. And on a fun note, a cool new trend popped up using that nano banana idea to create these beautiful animated images that show the live weather in different cities. So look, when you take a step back and look at this entire week, from video editing to workplace bots, from this efficiency revolution to what big tech is planning, the pace of change is just staggering. It's not year-over-year progress anymore. We're seeing that level of change week over week. And that leaves us with one final thought. With AI advancing at a speed that feels like years are being compressed into weeks, are any of us really prepared for what's coming next? What will our future even look like?